show is AD on the radio. What?
Today on the show, we discuss the rescue efforts in Texas, how you can help, and how these tough times are revealing the very best of who we are. Plus, Trump's security detail spent how much on porta potties?
What a load of...
Hey!
Let's go!
Welcome to the future, where the glass is half full and you'll need new glasses, where you'll be jumping from conclusions.
The past is annulled, and a new future is born.
Never before in history has so much meant so little to so many. AD on the radio.
So this is why I love Texas. This is why I love the people of Texas. Compassion. Aggressive compassion. Determined, no matter what, to do for others, to help others. It's incredible to watch a community spring into action this sort of way. And that, I think, is probably the best way I can think of to describe it. Aggressive compassion. I think I first saw it in action during Hurricane Katrina, when living in Houston, it was the first time I saw people reach out to other folks in that way. Determined no matter what to do for their fellow man and woman. And when it comes down to those critical moments, those moments that really, really matter, when people are compassionate in this way, you notice really quickly, you notice immediately, there aren't sides. No one is taking a side. When the chips are down, Americans are at their best. People talk about the good times, the bad times, and all the times in between, but it's the times of trouble, the times of pressure, that will evidence a person's true color, who they really are, their true nature, their true self. That's when we are crystal clear. That's when what we are is crystal clear. And that's what we're seeing in Houston. That's what we are made of. That's what we are. That's who Americans are. We're not a color of skin. We're not a vote. We're not a tax bracket. We're not an age or a race or a religion. We're not the car we drive. We're not the home we live in. We're not the team we root for. We're Americans, and we are all in it together. We're all in it together. And you see it. It's not about an organization or a government or anything of that nature. It's about people. When help wasn't able to get there just yet, neighbors, strangers responding first. People are the first responders. Simple, ordinary men and women doing for each other. This is our America. These are our people. This is what we will do for one another. I think Donald Trump plans to visit. Cool. Great. But we have stuff to do. I remember feeling the same way when I lived in New York City during 9/11. I remember George Bush was there. And as a president, you're kind of damned if you do, damned if you don't. Oh, look at all this time, money, and resources they're taking up. Look at all these time, money, and different resources that they're taking up by being there. But if you're not there, people are going to criticize you for that too. So to be fair, there's no way to win these situations. But Trump plans to visit Texas, and that's cool. That's great. But the people of Texas have stuff to do. And it's not registering because they're too concerned with the person next to them. Do it in your own time. Stay the hell out of the way. There's media and politicians closer to the Atlantic and the Pacific taking shots at Ted Cruz, asking for disaster relief because he voted against relief for Sandy. Yeah, whatever. This is about everyday people. Never has it been more clear that America is everyday people before anyone can get there to help. Everyday people are doing for each other. It's not a pointless battle of gaining or losing political ground. People are too busy helping each other to pay attention. And to those that would politicize, maybe wait. Maybe hold off. Maybe for now, spend that energy asking yourselves how you can help.
Let's start the show.
Real radio.
104.1.
Where the left and right come together for fundamental truths. AD on the radio, on Twitter at ADSXE.
Do what I want, when I want, how I want. Every day you're going and working, running that route.
So, I liked what Kevin Hart did. I don't know if you saw that, but Kevin Hart, comedian. You know how there's been all these different viral challenges online, like the ice bucket challenge, things of that nature. Kevin Hart did kind of an elitist thing, not elitist in a lousy way, but elitist in a way that cops to the fact that folks like him have a lot more money than the rest of us. Kevin Hart did online where he was like, okay, I'm tagging Jay-Z, Beyonce, Jerry Seinfeld, The Rock, and I don't know, a couple other celebrities in this video. I'm donating $25,000 to relief efforts in Houston right now, and I urge you to do the same thing as well, which I thought was super cool. Saying, hey, let's not mince words. Let's not dance around the fact that we got a lot of money and we can spare this, and we want to do something awesome to help. I liked that. I thought that was good. But as inspiring as that may be, like I said, what's great comes from everyday people like you and me in Texas, doing for each other, doing for their neighbors, doing for one other person when they get an opportunity to do so. Never has it been more clear than in situations like this one that America isn't politicians. America isn't large organizations. America is everyday people. It's people individually, one at a time, you in your own heart and your mind, making a choice to do something, making a choice to be a certain type of person. One of my favorite stories that's coming out of all of this. Yeah, it's funny. I was, nobody in Houston that doesn't have a boat is in much of a position to help, let alone leave their home. But, you can certainly help with the spread of information. And I'm sitting there tweeting, Facebooking, doing all the above, trying to sort of spread information, trying to help locate people that are maybe in need of help, and alert people in the area that there's someone there that needs something. Can anybody do anything? And I come across a bunch of posts from the Cajun Navy. The Cajun Navy. I don't know if you've ever heard of this. And for a second, you could be forgiven if you've never heard of this before for thinking, I didn't know there was a Cajun Navy in Louisiana. That's kind of interesting. So this time a year ago, August, there was this like freak storm, and it dumped like all the water in the world on Louisiana. I think 3 times the amount of Hurricane Katrina. There's this guy who lives just north of Baton Rouge in a town called Watson, little town, 900 people. There's this guy called John Bridgers. And John Bridgers has a bass boat. Not a huge one, 20-footer. And he knew there was help. He knew there was help on the way from national organizations, wildlife, fisheries, Coast Guard, things of that nature. I read an incredible article in the New Yorker about him, and he said, we're all sportsmen around here. Pretty much every other person has a boat. So what do? We got going. And there isn't an official organization, a government sanctioned anything called the Cajun Navy. It's a Facebook page. Bunch of folks from Louisiana started a volunteer organization, people with boats. And these are folks that had rescued, I think, more than 10,000 people during Katrina. And they got in whatever they had. Canoes, motorboats, rowboats with outboard motors. And they started grabbing people off of rooftops. If you're ever in this flood situation, like what's happening in Houston now, it's terrifying. It's absolutely mortifying. There's people on rooftops in rain, waiting it out overnight. Rescue efforts had to stop after a certain time. Folks went up to their attic, but you're told not to wait in your attic because people can't see you. If rescue comes, they don't know you're there. And also, you could wind up in a really lousy situation. You're supposed to, if you take cover in your attic during a flood, or if you head for the higher ground of your attic, rather, you're supposed to have an axe or something that you can use to break through the roof if the water gets high. And so you're faced with a choice. Do you stay in your attic and risk drowning in there if you can't get through the roof? Or do you spend the night with your family on a rooftop in the rain? And this is where the Cajun Navy started coming in. They said when you pull up to an individual's house and they're wading out of 5 feet of water with a duffel bag over their head, and as you pull them on your boat, you realize that's all they've got in that moment, that stays with you for good and bad.
Money making, skills on the mic, keep me paid every day, and for part of the battle, just bow down, better act like you know.
For more stimulation and less irritation, 9 out of 10 doctors choose KPRC AM 950, Houston's more stimulating talk radio.
Don't get the blues, get all the news. We mean all of you guys out there in Radioland. All aboard!
He's back. AD on the radio.
Give it up, yeah, give it up, yeah. Bring this on, come on, come on.
So it's that aggressive compassion that really, I think, moves me to tears when you see it in action in Houston. When we fed and clothed the people of New Orleans, our neighbors from Louisiana, during their emergency situation, you saw it. Businesses shut down. People stopped what they were doing. Life stopped. So you could help your fellow man. And like I said, one of my favorite stories to come out of all of this is the story of the Cajun Navy. Started in a little teeny town just north of Baton Rouge. One guy with a bass boat and a Facebook page. And the Cajun Navy types saw what was going on. with Hurricane Harvey heading toward Houston. And the guy that started it, Stu Bridgers. And I think about 50 Cajun Navy members, they hit the road. They put their boats on trucks. They put the trucks on the road, and they drove to Houston. And when they couldn't get any closer, they pulled over. They pulled over in a truck stop. I remember seeing the post. Cajun Navy is on its way. They hunkered down. They got on Facebook. They put the word out that they were on their way. They spread the word like wildfire so that when they could get to Houston, they would know where to go to help. They would know where to go to get the help. They started getting messages. Elderly people in their 80s, one in a wheelchair, one adult. Water in the house now. So they were spreading the word. They were on their way with their boats. But they were doing everything they could in a truck stop when they couldn't get in. Back in Katrina, this was impossible. Back in Katrina, Facebook wasn't a thing. 2005, Facebook, I don't think you were allowed to use Facebook unless you were a college student. But as of yesterday, I think the mayor in Houston, Sylvester Turner, said that there had been 6,000 calls for rescue. More than 1,000 people had been saved. People rescued from their roofs and their attics like we were talking about before. Couldn't possibly keep up with the calls that are coming in. But they want to respond to everyone that calls. Hurricane Harvey headed back out into the Gulf, gathered strength, coming back. People don't know where they're going to be able to go. People don't know when they're going to be able to get out of their homes. People who don't need rescue, that still have a home, that aren't being flooded out, don't know about things like food, power, water. But you know what's interesting? What was interesting is that government officials in Texas encourage people to do for each other. If you have a boat, we need your help. They said, we literally have hundreds of names and numbers and not enough manpower to go around. If we do not contact you, please do not think that we don't appreciate your offer. We're simply overwhelmed with a number of offers for help. The folks that are part of the Cajun Navy that loaded up their boats and headed to Houston, started rescuing folks, said it's a reciprocal gift of love for what they've done for us. And they need it. How many times has Louisiana been in the crossfire, and how many times have people from other places helped us? And the folks from Louisiana, the Cajun Navy folks, I'm sorry. These folks, not just there to help pull people off at rooftops, but they plan to come back and help with volunteer efforts to rebuild homes and communities. They said once the water is gone, they're not going to have homes to go to. We can relate because we've been there. This is the best of who we are. And I want you to remember in times like these, whether you're listening in a place, whether you're in Houston listening to this, or whether you're in one of the other cities where this show is on, I want you to remember in times like these that seem overwhelming, that seem insurmountable, when you feel small in the face of it all, if you feel helpless, I want you to remember the power that you as an individual have. Without the power of the individual making the decision to help one another, things would be very different right now. In Texas, I've never been more proud of us. Because it's about individuals making decisions to help. It's not about governments. It's not about policy. It's about you. It's about you, and it's about the person next to you. It's about the decisions that each one of us makes. It's about the choice that you make and I make. And every single one of us makes as an individual. It's a choice you make in your own heart about who you are, who we are, and what we're going to be in these situations. It's all of us doing that as individuals. It's you doing that on your own that makes us great together as a whole. Our greatness lies in us remembering when it really counts. When it really counts. Our greatness lies in us remembering that no one can help everyone, but everyone can help someone. Whew. So there you go. You might feel helpless. You might not have a boat. You might not be in a position to physically help anyone. But you can donate. You can donate your time and your effort by getting on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, whatever it is. Sharing up a storm. Sharing relief numbers. And we'll have a bunch of numbers for you here in a second if you are, in fact, in Houston and in need of some resources and help. But if you want to donate, Red Cross, great place to start. All right, Funkhauser.
Oh, now with the funny?
Now, well, maybe not. Maybe not
I gotta hand
yet.
it to you because you did something that I was proud of. You after everything went down this weekend, you posted on Facebook, "Is everyone okay? Is there anything I can do?" And all the comments were there, and you created a conversation between people who were scared and afraid, and you lended an olive branch, and for that, I applaud you. From sunny California.
Well, it's not even that. It was just like, hey, not physically able to go help people now. But like if there's someone in need of help, and there's someone nearby them that can see that, like, I mean, this is, gosh, as much as we bemoan the state of the world because of digital media and social media and Facebook and Twitter and Instagram and all of the above, these are the times where, it's, I mean, just think back to what it was like 10 years ago during Katrina when people couldn't mark them safe, when you couldn't check on your friends, when you couldn't, communicate, when you couldn't say, I've been evacuated. Can please somebody take my dog while I go to a hotel? Or my mother is trapped in her home. She's on her roof. Is there anybody nearby I live 20 miles away. I live a mile away and there's no way to get there. But is there someone in the neighborhood with a boat? People see these things and it matters and it makes a difference. And, you know, like I said, we spend a lot of time bemoaning what we've become thanks to social media. But in times like these, thanks,
pretty great.
Zuckerberg. Yeah. And by the way, people in distress, if you are in distress right now, you can call the U.S. Coast Guard, 281-464-4851, 281-464-4851. And there's a bunch of helicopter rescue services, 281-464-4851. Again,
don't call it if you just want a helicopter ride. Let's save that for another day.
Yeah.
Please.
Hold on for a second. But and also, I mean, gosh, like, I understand, like, it's so easy to judge. It's so easy to see a car stalled out. It's so easy to see a car stalled out with white caps lapping against its rear view mirror and go, what were you thinking? But there are people in those situations where they go, I've got friends or family or loved ones that need help. I've got to get out there. Please, please, please be smart and safe about how you go about this sort of thing, because you won't be of use to anyone if you wind up being stuck. If you become a victim yourself, there's not much you can do for anyone, and you've added to the problem. So I'm not saying don't help, because there is a way to do it, but please be smart and safe. Do not march off into the unknown thinking that you can best Mother Nature. Mother Nature has the upper hand.
It never
in
works.
These situations. No, it's not a great thing to do. There's also, maybe I can find it during the break. There's also an app. There's an app that the Cajun Navy were using. Yeah, here it is. It's called the Zello app, Zello. And the Cajun Navy is actually recommending that you use it so they or someone else can potentially get to you and help you out if you are in distress. If you or someone you know, if you're in need of rescue, download the Zello app, type in Texas Search and Rescue, and then you can search for Dickinson Search or any search or rescue close to your vicinity. That's the Zello app, Zello. This is going to connect you with officials on the ground that can help navigate your way.
Incredible.
So if you are in need of help, Zello, Zello. Also, if you are in Houston, 740 KTRH, our sister station, is bringing you up to the moment updates on the areas that are most affected. There are there's various dams in and around Houston that are being strategically released to stop them from bursting, and that affects new areas. So if you were in a spot where you were safe and dry, well, if one of those dams is being released and you could very well wind up not being safe and dry. So just keep yourself informed. 740 AM, KTRH, their website, their Twitter feed, their Instagram, all of the above, and download the Zello app.
Sometimes you just know you're done. You're longing for that shining sun. You walk these streets most every day. You're waiting to get washed away. Radio
104.1. Now, more AD on the radio.
So if you missed it, some numbers: 281-464-4851, 281-464-4851. That's the U.S. Coast Guard. If you are in need of help and information, give them a shout. Also, download the Zello app if you are in need of rescue, Zello, and that can help people locate you and rescue you. Also, our sister station in Houston, 740 AM, KTRH, they are basically the hub of everything that's going on with regard to getting information out and letting officials know when there are people that are in a dire situation. So 740 AM, KTRH, that would be the sister station there. Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, the station that I'm on in Houston, 94.5 The Buzz. You can keep up with all of this and keep yourself informed with all of this. If you still have power, please make sure that you charge your phone. If you still have water, make sure that your bathtub is full. And be smart, be safe, look after one another, and we'll all get through this together. All right, Funkhauser, let's take a look at some news, shall we?
All right. The 2017 MTV Video Music Awards aired last night.
Big winner. Anyone who turned it on for 5 minutes and then switched to reruns of Seinfeld.
Did you do that? 5 minutes? You gave it 5?
I don't think I get MTV. You have to pay for MTV.
You know,
right?
I
don't think it comes with my basic cable package, and I was like, I don't think I get
I
MTV.
noticed that they air these award shows across their network, so you see it on VH1 and CMT and, you know, all of the things.
I don't think, I don't know.
If they did that last
I didn't.
night,
I didn't even look at it. I saw some of the results. And I was like, wow. Not only do I realize I've reached an interesting point in my life because I did not know the vast majority of the music that was represented at the VMAs. And then I realized not only do I not know, I also don't care. Like I don't care that I don't know. Kendrick Lamar, okay, I know who he is. Ed Sheeran, I know he is.
You still do enjoy music, though, right? You just don't care.
I love music. Music is a vital, integral, important part of my life, but it's just...
Okay, we'll check back in with you in 10 years then when that dies as well.
It's so... I don't know. I think it's so kind of... gosh, I don't know. Maybe it's just us getting older, Funkhauser, but it's so bubblegummy. You know, there's nothing. And I love pop music. If someone can write a good pop song, it can move me to tears. It can make me want to drive fast with the windows down and the volume up. Like I have no problem with pop music.
That still happens every so often.
But I've yet to come across anything that really kind of made me go, hey, that means something to me in the world of pop music in quite some time. So yeah, no, don't have a problem with it. Like it, would love to be wowed by something, but it's just not a thing for me. And I'm fine with that. Go on.
Taylor Swift's new song is called Look What You Made Me Do.
Oh. From the sound of it, what we made her do is to continue to write shallow songs about vapid, annoying topics that are unbelievably repetitive. Is that what we made her do? All right, Funkhauser, have you heard Look What You Made Me Do?
I sure did.
Oh, you did?
I watched the lyric video.
Oh, yeah? What was it like?
I'm with you. The things that you said about the VMAs? Yeah, me too.
Yeah. Give me an O. Give me an L. All right. What
and
else?
now in something completely different that I care about a lot, finally, I know a Kardashian. I can recognize one out of a lineup. Kylie Jenner posed for her first nude pictorial.
Isn't she the youngest one?
Probably.
Yeah. Kylie Jenner posed naked. If this comes... Maybe don't apply for a job as a trend spotter. Like, you know how you feel when your kid hits their... After all those years of practice? I would imagine that's how Kris Jenner feels right about now. It is an interest. Like, I saw some of the pictures. And she wasn't really nude, unless they're saving the good stuff for... Because it's being published in some magazine, right?
Oh, so this is... fake news?
No, it's not fake news. Like, there is visible nipple in this, but it's sort of like more... It's like Kim Kardashian's been naked. Like, there is no part of her that hasn't been exposed to a camera and then subjected to many Instagram filters and then shared with us. But this is more of a... it's like see-through nighties and stuff. It's sort of like a
I saw one of those
variety of new. Yeah, like there might be more, and it's published in some magazine, and nobody actually buys magazines anymore, so maybe they're holding back, like I said, the more kind of explicit stuff, so people go and buy the magazine. But I don't know, calling this nude is a stretch, anyways. But it's an interesting thing. It actually made me think about the concept of female nudity. And I don't know, in a way other than just me enjoying it. But I think it's interesting. I think, I could almost kind of see in some ways how in the right circumstances, something like this could be empowering. Like, it's weird that Kylie Jenner's first naked pictorial made me think this. And I don't think this was necessarily the case with hers. But, people being okay with their bodies, women especially, who are infinitely more judged than men when it comes to their bodies, feeling okay with it and feeling sort of like, I guess, comfortable and confident in their own skin is an empowering thing. And I think, when you see public female nudity like this, I think it could kind of go one of two ways. It could be empowering, or it could be exploitive. And I mean, look, obviously this is the Kardashian empire, so it's 100% under their control. And in that case, I mean, besides it being a soulless money grab courtesy of Kris Jenner, I think in a weird way, Kylie Jenner's first naked photo shoot made me think that nudity, when handled right for women, could actually be kind of a cool and empowering thing.
Leave the stimulation to the professionals.
Everyone is so smart.
KPRC, more stimulating talk radio.
There's something happening here, and you should know what it is. The dumbing up of America. Now, more AD on the radio.
Getting more stories and pictures coming in at all times of the situation in Texas and the Gulf Coast and Houston. There's places like in Rockport where people are going, hey, that place where I went to high school, it's now gone. Like there's entire chunks of Texas that are now just gone. And this is billions and billions of dollars worth of damage that will take years and years to recover from. And the real work will begin when the water recedes. But for now, if you are in a situation where you want to help, you can go to the Red Cross website. They are helping to coordinate financial and physical rescue at the moment. And if you are in need of rescue, there's several things that you can do. Download the Zello app. This is a way of letting people know that you are in trouble and need rescue. Download the Zello, Zello app, type in Texas Search and Rescue, and then you'll have a way to notify people that you are a certain place and in need of help. Call the Coast Guard, 281-464-4851, 281-464-4851. And all this information, by the way, is on my Twitter and Instagram and Facebook and everywhere. And for updates on the information, 7:40 a.m. KTRH, that's our sister station in Houston, and they are bringing you up to the moment news on exactly what is going on and which areas have been most affected. All right. Okay, Funkhauser, let's continue to do a little bit of news.
All right. Jay-Z explained to an interviewer why he named his twins Rumi and Sir.
Rumi and Sir. Let me use that in a sentence for you. Oh, look, it's Rumi and Sir getting their asses kicked on the playground again. I haven't read the interview. Actually, you might not beat up Jay-Z's kids on the playground.
Highly
this is
unlikely.
A dude that stabbed someone for leaking his record and quoted The Godfather when he did it. Did you hear about this? Do you remember? It was like 1999 or so, 2000 or whatever. Somebody leaked his record that was coming out, and all sorts of Corleone style, he went up to somebody and said, "You broke my heart," and stabbed him. And it was like, I remember that was back when I did watch MTV, and they're having Jay-Z cannot appear on tonight's MTV New Year's celebration because he's in jail for stabbing someone. So yeah, maybe Rumi and Sir will get left alone on the. Go on.
Cesar Millan turned 48 yesterday.
Oh, and by the way, if you're doing the math, that's 336 in Dog Whisperer years.
After 34 years, a theater in Memphis is ending its annual screenings of Gone with the Wind.
Yeah, they decided to stop showing the movie because, frankly, my dear, nobody gives a damn. Thank you.
I would watch it once. Come on.
Well, look, I mean, there are depictions
of all right.
There are depictions of slavery in Gone with the Wind that are upsetting to people, and I absolutely understand why a theater would want to stop showing this. You know, look, if you view the movie Gone with the Wind as a piece of history and recognize that parts of history are ugly. I don't know. I've never seen Gone with the Wind. I've never read the book. I just know the quote, "Nobody, frankly, my dear, nobody gives a damn," or "As God is my witness, I will never be poor again." Isn't that the quote? I'm not sure. I don't know. But I don't care. But if you are interested in it as a piece of history, as a reflection of history, not only as a historical reference to the time period, but also it's one of those films that has made a humongous mark on the world of cinema, then you can watch it and know that parts of it are going to be incredibly racially insensitive given the time that it was in. And it's going to show you some elements of our shameful history of slavery that are difficult to watch. And I understand why a movie theater would want to stop an annual showing. But I think oftentimes, these pieces of perspective are useful. When you can watch something and go, "Oh my gosh, for one teeny tiny second, that was a thing. That was who we were then. We can never be that way, ever." So, not having it be around in the movie theater, not having an annual showing of it, I get it, but don't let it stop you watching it if you've never seen it before. I've never seen it. I don't care to watch it, but stuff like this tends to provide an interesting piece of perspective, if only so you can look back at it and go, "Woo, that's ugly. Let's do whatever we can to make sure that doesn't happen again." All right, what else?
The Jacksonville Jaguars may sign Colin Kaepernick.
At what point is Kaepernick's better option just sitting out?
Are they not doing good, the Jaguars?
I don't think anyone has especially high hopes for them. But look, the whole Colin Kaepernick thing, maybe we'll talk about that. It's such a loaded thing, and there's so many. It's just a very, very long show, and we'll get into it on a day when our focus isn't Houston and Texas and the people of Texas that have been affected by Harvey. So let's continue.
Topless women
into that one.
Topless women. Marched in New York City on Saturday for equal topless rights.
No kidding. Equal topless rights.
Equal topless rights.
I'm not sure how it went, but Funkhauser, can you monitor that and keep us abreast of the situation?
I'll be on top of it.
I know, I'm sure. Here's the thing about that kind of thing. I'm sure many of the people there were serious with good intentions, but that sort of thing is always spoiled by a bunch of people showing up and just milking it. If you think I have anything to add, I really don't. That's definitely all I have to say about that.
A new study says intelligent people are more likely to swear and walk around the house naked.
Oh, well, there you go. Apparently my grandfather was a genius. Do you walk around the house naked?
Doesn't everyone? Well, I guess not everyone. Sometimes.
I'm not a never nude, but being half English and growing up in England.
Mostly never nude.
How the hell do you know?
From the stories you've told.
Awkward. I guess so. Yeah. Yeah, no, like I'm English, so I can be embarrassed about my body while under the covers in the dark. Like, I've actually been grossed out by myself and ashamed of myself to where I put clothes on so I can go lie in the dark under the covers before. And not useful during a hot summer. Go on.
A new study says that. Oh wait, I already told you that. A woman in California found a live frog in the salad mix she bought from Target.
I find that difficult to believe. That's strange. That's a crazy story. A Target shopper bought a salad?
The Secret Service spent $7,000 on portable toilets while protecting President Trump during his stay at Bedminster.
Yeah. $7,000 on portable potties while protecting President Trump. And what do they have to show for it, Funkhauser? You know what they've got?
What?
Squat. They've got squat to show for the... Anyways.
They've got Jack Bleep. President Trump gave convicted Arizona Sheriff Joe Arpaio the first presidential pardon of his administration.
Yeah. Or as Trump called it, practice for everybody else in his administration. I don't know.
You get a pardon, and you get a pardon, and you get a pardon.
You know, and we're going to get deeper into these issues once we're done making Harvey and Houston our main focus. But it's a real divisive thing that that pardon, that Sheriff Joe Arpaio pardon.
Arpaio.
Paul Ryan. Yeah, Paul Ryan, you know, like a major voice within the Republican Party was like, nope, not with it. Nope. You can't be a member of law enforcement and have a racial bias. Not cool, not okay. And I was like, ooh, there it is. There's battle lines being drawn. There is the Speaker of our House potentially making a run at 2020. Go on.
The Goop website. That's Goop website is being investigated.
Oh,
for...
that's Gwyneth Paltrow's. Yeah.
Investigated for deceptive claims.
Right. Deceptive claims. Like when they call its founder beloved actress Gwyneth Paltrow. That's deceptive. Yeah. Did you see that? What was that? The thing that really took the cake. There were two big things that really made people go, "What the hell is this all about?" Like, it's Gwyneth Paltrow's website. It recommends stuff, and I think there was one article in there where Gwyneth Paltrow advised women to steam their lady bits. Like,
oh yeah, didn't we do a whole show about this?
I don't think so. Maybe in your mind, but like, there was that, and then there was like the $17,000 marital aid that was for sale on there. It was like better part of $20,000 on a buzzy buddy, if you will. $17,000 is for people that are really aroused by hating the poor, I suppose. It's going to be hard to prove the whole thing, because to prove that they're guilty of making deceptive claims on the website Goop, what you first have to do is find women who are willing to admit they were dumb enough to allow Gwyneth Paltrow talk them into steaming their lady bits, and that's going to be a short list. Yeah, I'd definitely like to talk about how I did that.
Are you sure it's a short list?
Yeah, it's a short list.
What if it's okay?
It's a short list.
Shirley Manson turns 51 tomorrow.
Yeah, she's a singer of Garbage. Often confused with Chad Kroger of Nickelback, but no, she's the singer of Garbage. She was on, what was she on not so long ago? She was on, I think, Joe Rogan's podcast.
I saw her at
She's
Whole
51.
Foods.
You did?
I did. Hey, look.
What was she buying? What was in her cart?
Cherry tomatoes. I think that was it.
Red hair, red food. There you go. Really? Shirley Manson from Garbage shops on her own at Whole Foods and only buys cherry tomatoes?
Mm-hmm.
That would be like
little
I have
handheld
no
basket too. The whole thing.
I have no interest in following celebrities around and seeing what they do or where they go or like any kind of like celebrity stalking website. Like the folks over at TMZ get very, very little business from yours truly. But I got to admit that, look, I like looking at people in the grocery store and then looking to see what's in their cart and seeing if the mental image, like it tells a whole story. Like you see some like rip tone shredded type that's straight there from the gym and you go, oh, look, a bunch of turkey bacon and egg whites. There you go. Or sometimes you see people that are like owned and shredded and you look in my cart and go, oh, look, turkey bacon and egg whites. Aim high. Don't kid yourself. 281-464-4851. If you're in distress, that's the number of the Coast Guard in Houston, 281-464-4851. Download the Zello app, Zellow, if you are in need of rescue. Stay tuned to our sister station, 740 AM KTRH.